So from this point on, the fantasy fights will be renamed to death battles because basically that kind of sounds more cool. So anyway, the first death battle that I want to discuss here today is Gaara versus Toph. Now, I know many of you will say that since both of them don't belong into the same world, this is not an even fight. But hey, let's just face it. I mean, just for an imagination's sake, it's actually fun to just have a crossover fight or something. Gaara's ultimate defense. Can Toph break it? Basically, as long as Toph has this control over sand, because basically sand isn't much in Toph's division. What she specializes in is that of earth bending, solid earth. She can actually make sand into some hard earth, as we saw in one of the Avatar's episodes where they take the flying bison away, and Toph has to actually sand bend in a way that she has some ground to stand on while she maintains that hold on the tower, that library tower in which Aang and all the others were. So basically we can actually deduce that some way Toph can actually control sand to some extent. Whereas as far as breaking Gaara's defense, basically when Gaara forms that hard shell of himself, in that way he will be in a disadvantage, but I wouldn't say that Gaara will lose this fight because basically Toph is blind and Gaara is not. So basically if Gaara starts flying like when he did, like the way he did with Deidara, I don't know if his power was because of the Shukaku or something, but if he can do that, Toph has almost 0% chance of winning this fight. Like Gaara can actually float in the air. Toph cannot see him in that way since she senses the movements of enemies through the earth. Although there's another thing that is known as evolution during the fight. So what if she actually discovers a way to sense the prey from the sky as well, or in a way that Gaara has to attack his sand from the ground, so Toph will be able to dodge him in any way possible if he attacks from the ground. But if he attacks from the air, then aerial attacks will actually get Toph, and I guess that's just one sand coffin away from Toph being beaten. Okay, the next fight that I want to discuss is, and that's going to be the last fight for this video, the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju versus the No-Life King, Alucard. Now basically, before I start off with this fight, let's just say that let's just keep Alucard's omnipotent power out of it, like him being everywhere and nowhere, the Schrodinger's power that Alucard acquired in the very ending of the anime that is Hellsing Ultimate. So basically, if we ignore that and just say that Alucard is sort of dependent upon his 3 million plus lives for him to keep himself alive, so I would say that Hashirama Senju has a very good chance of defeating him unless and until Alucard doesn't go the level 0 restriction level. So before that, we can say that he will give one hell of a fight to Hashirama Senju. Since he's a vampire, he actually loves to fight, and Hashirama Senju is sort of the god of the shinobi. So basically what I would say, Hashirama Senju versus Alucard would actually make the planet explode, if you ask me. But I guess this would be till Alucard actually does the mistake of releasing his level 0 restriction, in which all of his inner souls, the souls that he has devoured, they come out and fight for him. That way he will be at a very big disadvantage, since we saw Hashirama Senju can actually summon that big summoning of his with the 1,000 hands of, I don't exactly recall the name, but if he does, all of the 3 million plus lives are gone in an instant, and there we are just with Alucard. Basically what I think is that Alucard actually wouldn't expel all of those souls outside of him. Rather he would keep 3 or 4 inside of him just for the regeneration purpose like the way he kept when he was fighting Alexander Anderson after Anderson pierced himself with the nail. So basically, I would say that Hashirama has got this fight unless and until Alucard's Schrodinger's power is kept in view. If that power is kept in view, Hashirama Senju has no chance whatsoever of defeating Alucard. So basically, Hashirama Senju, does he have that much stamina to kill 3 million plus lives? And those 3 million lives are not just fodder. They are known people who have much more power than what meets the eye. Like you have that Tinkertail soldier sailor girl whose bullets can actually change directions. Then you have Luke Valentine, who is actually sort of a super speed vampire. And then you have that card guy who actually throws cards that can actually injure you in the first place. So basically, we can actually generalize that every one of his souls would be, you know, bodies with special powers or anything. So basically, it's sort of a 50-50 if you look at it that way. But I guess Hashirama Senju, being that guy who is thought to be so powerful that he was even considered as a legend other than the Sage of the Sixth Path, I would say I would vote for Hashirama on this one. Anyway, so what do you think of these fights? This is the first time that I've been doing a cross battle. Before that, in the fantasy fights, previously I've been just cross battling the Naruto characters, but I felt that it would be much more exciting if an anime crossover fight was to happen and was to be discussed. So let me know what you guys think about this. And as a last note, yes, I am back for now. You can expect some content from me from me in the summers. And do forgive me for the break, since it's been a long time since I did my last review. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm sort of out of habit of doing the reviews. So sorry for the breaks. And if you guys didn't get any point, then I apologize for that as well. And last but not the least, I was actually surprised to have 130 subscribers at my hand still, even though I wasn't uploading anything. You guys are really loyal, I gotta say this. So thank you guys, thank you so much for joining in. Do comment your suggestions on what you want to see in the next death battle, and if I have seen that anime, I would actually do that death battle or the crossover fights or whatever you want to call it. So I guess that's it for now, guys. Take care. Bye bye. The Mass 9 to 5 signing off.